by Tamara Glumac Updated May 12, 2018 20 hours 59 minutes and 43 seconds video. The cleanup begins after Hobart's May flood event. ABC News. The cleanup from Hobart's worst storm in decades is underway, with the total damage bill estimated to run into many millions of dollars. The extreme weather event, combining heavy rains, wild winds and thunderstorms, saw cars swept down streets in central Hobart and businesses and homes inundated in the early hours of Friday. Insurance arm of the Royal Automobile Club of Tasmania, RSCT Insurance, said it had already received a record number of claims, with 500 lodged by early Saturday afternoon, and more expected over the weekend. The company said in a statement that it expected its claims bill could exceed $2 million. Just over 1,400 homes were still without power early on Saturday morning, with about 645 in the north and east and the rest in the south. Video. Flash floods tear through Hobart after record rain. ABC News. Fears of a heavy deluge hitting the state's east coast overnight did not eventuate, although the rain continues to fall in the area, with readings of 63 mm at Grey, 52 mm at Mount Victoria, 41 mm at St. Helens, and 41 mm at Fingal. Calls for assistance were for mainly wind-related damage to roofs, downed trees, broken windows and associated water damage. The SES's Northern Regional Manager Mary Revie said for the most part, the north and east escaped the worst of the storms overnight. St. Mary's, St. Helens, and Launceston were probably most affected, she said. There were losses inconvenience to those that have suffered them, but small losses comparatively. Conditions are easing for the weekend as the system moves across the state's east coast. Photo. The banks of the Newtown rivulet burst, with debris, including cars, swept into it by the floodwaters. Slide. Mark Horstman. Photo. George Vickers snapped this image of the water catching people by surprise in the Hobart CBD. Slide. George Vickers. Photo. A home at Sandy Bay, Hobart, sustained extensive damage to its roof in the storm. Submitted. Rohan Puri. Photo. Police sought help on social media to find the owner of this yacht, aground at Bruny Island. Supplied. Tasmania Police. Photo. Cleanup underway inside a shop in the Channel Court Shopping Complex in Kingston, May 11, 2018. ABC News. Ellen Coulter. Photo. Search and rescue personnel watch as a 15-year-old boy is prepared to be winched to safety by a helicopter after becoming trapped in fast-running flood waters at Tynwald Park, New Norfolk. Supplied. Tasmania Police. Photo. The Westpac rescue helicopter moves into position for the rescue operation at New Norfolk, in southeast Tasmania. Supplied. Tasmania Police. Photo. The boy is lifted out of the floodwaters, at New Norfolk, in southeast Tasmania. Supplied. Tasmania Police. Photo. The flood caused extensive damage at the Sandy Bay campus of the University of Tasmania. ABC News. Brian Millis. Photo. At Opossum Bay, the storm caused a landslip, resulting in this dwelling sliding down an embankment. Supplied. Peter Tucker. Photo. Hobart docks thick with debris from storm and flooding. Supplied. David Chalmers. Photo. Hundreds of cars were damaged, with a massive insurance bill expected following the 1-in-100-year flood. ABC News. Carla Howarth. Photo. A car which did not make it through flood waters on Lena Valley Road. ABC News. Georgie Burgess. Photo. Cars floating in South Hobart. Supplied. Lisa Coffin. Photo. Water comes down a hallway in UTAS's engineering faculty, Sandy Bay, Hobart. Supplied. Monty Bovell. Photo. Sandbags and a police presence in Hobart City Centre. ABC News. Edith Bevan. Photo. Sam Mickens' family awoke to water coming into their home in Blackmans Bay, Hobart. Supplied, Samigan. Photo, emergency crews clean up mud and debris from the CBD. News video. Photo, the Hobart CBD has been left covered in mud and debris after a storm overnight, May 11, 2018. ABC, Edith Bevan. Photo, cars swept away by flash flooding piled up in Hobart CBD, May 11, 2018. ABC, Edith Bevan. Photo, staff try to sweep floodwaters out of the old Wool Store Hotel in Hobart CBD, May 11, 2018. ABC, Edith Bevan. Photo, the storm brought with it widespread lightning, including a strike which took out a transmission tower, putting ABC television and radio off air for hours. Supplied, Matt Osborne. Gallery, Hobart floods, extreme weather event hits southern Tasmania. The Weather Bureau said there was no risk of flash flooding, and a number of minor flood warnings around the state were likely to be withdrawn today. However, the Bureau will continue monitoring for some flooding, with a focus on the North Esk and South Esk rivers. TasNetworks spokesman Dan Sinkovitz said crews would begin work on restoring power on Saturday when it was safe. Overnight we had to reduce our response so that we could give crews a rest, so that they could start work again this morning, he said. Last night we had in the vicinity of 3,500 customers off. Then at about midnight I got my last contact with the field area, and I think they'd managed to reduce that number to around about 1,800. And then this morning we are picking up again at around 1,800, and we'll be looking to close off as many of those jobs and get as many of those customers on as possible today. TasNetworks was aiming to complete reconnections by the end of the day, but couldn't guarantee that time frame as the causes of all the outages were yet to be confirmed. Mr. Sinkovitz also said there may be outages that have not been reported yet. I did notice on Facebook last night there were messages coming through from customers in Sandy Bay that still didn't have power, and their outages weren't listed on our website, he said. The Weather Bureau's Glenn Perrin said more severe weather was not expected across Tasmania this weekend. Breako Day Council Mayor Mick Tucker said the East Coast hadn't experienced the same severity of damage as the South had. We've still had strong winds Friday night, and we've had some much-needed rainfall, but we haven't had the severe damages and infrastructure damage, he said. The Royal Hobart Hospital reopened 6 beds which were closed yesterday after some weather damage. The hospital's emergency department reported it did not treat any casualties of the deluge, flooding or winds. Boy plucked to safety. 4 people were rescued from floodwaters on Friday, including a 15-year-old boy who suffered mild hypothermia and had to be winched to safety by the police rescue helicopter. The state emergency service received about 400 calls for help in less than 24 hours. The Insurance Council declared the event catastrophic and has already received more than 1,000 claims. Julia Ridgers, who runs Margate restaurant Brookfield Shed, had to shelter upstairs with her family while chest-deep water flowed through the premises downstairs. Her father braved the waters to make sure the electricity was turned off before joining the rest of the family upstairs. Council repair build. South Hobart rubbish tip is one of the worst hit areas, with the Hobart City Council expecting the damage there alone will be several $1 million. There's a lot of infrastructure that's been destroyed and it will take anywhere from 6, 9, 12 months to restore, Hobart Lord Mayor Ron Christie said. They'll still be operating of course, but it will just be a bit more difficulty to maneuver. For now we're saying to people the tip will be closed and is going to remain closed until Tuesday at least. It's closed in the interest of public safety. You just cannot drive on parts of the road in the tip area. It's just too dangerous, Alderman Christie said. Concrete barriers in Hobart's rivulet were critical in limiting damage elsewhere. They were designed to stop fast-floating boulders and debris like logs from coming down the rivulet into the city, he said. They have worked and actually made the situation a lot safer and virtually saved the city. All of Hobart's sporting grounds were closed by the city council, cancelling all football games. weather records broken. It is only the fifth time since 1893 that Hobart had recorded more than 100 millimeters of rain in a day. Mount Wellington recorded 236 millimeters. In the 24 hours to 9 a.m. on Friday, 129 millimeters of rain fell in Hobart, a record for May. The Weather Bureau's senior climatologist, Blair Trewin, said it was not an extreme event by mainland standards, but was very significant for southeast Tasmania. Certainly it is at least a once-in-a-generation, at least if not a once-in-a-lifetime event. Hobart had other similarly sized rainfall events in 1909, 127 millimeters, June 1954, 147 millimeters, September 1957, 156 millimeters, Hobart's wettest day on record, April 1960, 132 millimeters. Water ran knee-high in city streets and the army was called to help. Video, car parks and hallways flooded in Hobart. ABC News topics: floods, disasters and accidents. Weather. Hobart 7000 TAS first posted May 12, 2018, 4 hours 54 minutes and 36 seconds.